as I mentioned a little earlier, my name is Chris Henry. I'm an interim and virtual CISO and CXO in many industries, including hospitality, financial services, social enterprises, not-for-profit, public sector, logistics distribution, the list goes on, a few different places. My primary roles were in hospitality and financial services, professional services. I've got a link here, my campsite bio. We're actually just going to start there today in Wellness for CISOs. My campsite bio is just one of these link pages you can put on your Instagram. Sort of shows my shows and my where I can be booked for a free chat in the 3 different areas that I focus on. But what I'm really wanted to show you beyond that is just in my bio. I'm just going to my LinkedIn because that's the place that has the most information about me. And what you'll see on my LinkedIn is that I do CXO, so I'm currently an interim chief digital officer at Center for Social Innovation in Toronto that puts people in planet first and incubates 3,000 community members in their businesses. Just going to let this load. So I work at Dare Innovative. That's my own company where I'm the executive advisor and interim virtual CXO, as well as I'm a life and rhythmic diet wellness coach. My background is as a recruiter. I was CIO of Grant Thornton Canada and a member of the Global Information Technology Advisory Committee for 100 country member firms. It was around a $3 to $4 billion business. And also at Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts, I was the second full-time employee in IT. I created the corporate services group, oversaw IT operations centrally, all the data centers, IT security. I served as an expert witness in a hacking trial in Florida for 1.5 years on behalf of Four Seasons that we won. And before that, I was in various other roles, but really I've only had 3 jobs. Four Seasons, Grant Thornton, and now it's consulting. All right, so that's my background. Let's get back to the presentation. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about work and life. We're going to talk about fulfillment. What is that? We're going to talk about making a difference, rhythmic potential, nutrition, rituals, experiences, and a kickoff. The kickoff challenge. So work and life. I'm going to talk a little bit about myself and maybe some of these things resonate with you. Maybe you've gone through some of these life events and what I would call traumas in your life. And these are sort of the things that were happening in the last 7 years. So last 7 years, I was at the end of my CIO role. I was at a place where we could only do 5 to 10 of the 145 projects they were asking for due to budget and staff constraints. I was working 90 hours a week. I think probably once you're in a global company, you'll know that you can just keep working the whole time. It never stops unless you make time for yourself and your family. So I was having a hard time finding balance with that. My mom had a heart attack. She'd already had cancer 4 times. She had cancer the 4th time in that last 7 years. My dad had a pacemaker in. He had an event on a plane flying to Greece. He had to put a pacemaker in for him. The death of my father-in-law, the passing of my stepdad, Harry, my stepmom, Sheila. I was overweight and my energy was erratic. I went through a divorce. I found someone who I really loved. I went through divorce again. We had a daughter together, and so I have 2 teenage boys and a new daughter. I'm 51, and my daughter, who's here with me today, is just about 3. In finance, I had some trauma. I cashed out my life savings to buy a house, and I had to sell in 12 months due to the divorce. So I've been through a bunch of ups and downs, most definitely. So that leads you to the question, well, what's the point, or where am I going? And what am I supposed to be doing? You know, and what am I doing now? Is it the right thing that I feel that I'm meant to do? Am I being fulfilled? Am I feeling fulfilled based on the experiences that I'm having in this life? And the other thing that's important to me, you might resonate with you, is am I making a difference to others? Because in this life journey, it really comes down to experiences. and making a difference to others. Those are really the two things that we have while we're here. The person that I always look to for inspiration is Terry Fox, who ran across, who actually did enough kilometers, more kilometers in training than he did actually in his run, because he had to stop because he had cancer again. But he was looking for fulfillment, and he was looking for how he could help others, make a difference to them, to bring awareness and fundraising to cancer research, to find a cure for all cancers. And once he started running, once you really get to 3, there's a power in 3s, right? Once he got to 3 people believed, and then he started running even more and even more and even more. And he was able to create this movement, helped by Isidore Sharp of Four Seasons, where I worked, to start a foundation, to now have raised almost $1 billion for cancer research, to find a cure for all cancers. And it just started out with a simple thought. You know, he's just a normal guy who did something amazing. And the question would be, do you think that all of us could reach that potential, what I call rhythmic potential? Because if you go looking for it, you don't always find it. It's something that happens when there's a balance, there's a resonance between the energy that you're putting in and that you're receiving back, and then it grows. It's a two-way thing. It's a balance of this energy, this resonance that I call rhythmic potential. So in my mind, he reached his rhythmic potential in this life. And unfortunately, as you know from the story, he passed away. So let's just think about rhythmic potential for a moment. Let's think about Joe Carter. When someone reaches their rhythmic potential, you can sort of remember where you were. I remember I was watching this game at my stepbrother's townhouse on the second floor, and he hit this home run. And it was amazing. You can see for him, it was amazing. It was amazing for everybody. And he put us on the map. So we have to thank him for that. But you can see at that moment, the balance of hitting the ball with that bat, the flexing of his muscles, all of his practice, he hit a moment of rhythmic potential, and he connected worldwide with everyone in that moment. Bianca, finding balance. Here she is. Here she is returning a serve, probably. And she has that moment during those 2-3 hours, however long it was, where she reached her rhythmic potential. She sat in it for an extended time. Doesn't mean you're perfect. It just means you're optimized, you're performing, your balance of your energy and your performance and making a difference and it being received from others. All of that whole balance ended up in an aha moment you can see in this other photo, right? Because she reached her potential. Can she do it again? Sure she can. Now, rhythmic potential and balance, how do you make a plane like this fly? What I understand, what I've been told, is that this plane actually can't fly based on aerodynamics. It has certain jets, engines, computers that actually keep it so that it can fly. It also has a pilot. So how can we find that balance to be able to reach our rhythmic potential all the time? Not just one time, big, but I mean all the time. How do we reach that? How do we, every time this plane takes off, it reaches its rhythmic potential in flight? Well, I've talked a little bit about rhythmic potential and a balance in energy. It's almost like when you can shatter a glass with a certain note. That sound or that energy frequency, that sound frequency that emanates, it creates a synergy that is unexplainable. And it just makes it just makes a reaction of rhythmic potential. And so I'm going to share this video with you from Nigel Stanford in Somatics that shows energy and the breaking glass in a new way. I'm not going to go through the whole video. We're going to do about half. I'm just watching the time. We might get an ad.
See that bright brain full of activity?
It is an ad.
That's a healthy 18-year-old brain. Mine is the other one.
Okay, that's not part of the show. I got to turn it down.
The film you're about to see has no characters. If you spare a little of your imagination, it is a film to describe to you the effect of cymatic frequencies on matter. Everything owes its existence solely and completely to sound.
I forgot the unmute. Thank you for that. So what I was just saying was you can go and see Science versus Music on YouTube with Nigel Sanford. It's there, you can watch the end of it. What he was able to do and what he found is he found a balance. He found this resonance frequencies where there was resonance, just like the breaking glass, but in water, in earth, in sand, right? And in fire. And so they just played and they figured out and created a tune that would make those things resonate, just like we can, because we are all energy. So this leads to the nutrition, rituals, and experiences, something I call the rhythmic diet that I discovered. And so we're going to talk about what's nutrition. From nutrition, with nutrition, what you feed yourself from a nutrition point of view allows you then, gives you energy to take action. And those things that you take action in are rituals. And those rituals result in experiences from which you learn, and then they actually feed you as part of nutrition. And inside, we're trying to reach our rhythmic potential. So what is nutrition and how can we find wellness as a CISO? Well, nutrition is about mindfulness. It's about consuming music, the thoughts and words that we use, the environment that we're in, the relationships that we're in, the food and the drink that we eat, the self-care, how we take care of ourselves. Nutrition also comes in other forms such as fear, love, beliefs, anger, peace, hope, learning, memories, traumas, and experiences like I've had and you've had. Was it a positive experience or was it a negative experience, a trauma? And as we go around this loop, this rhythmic potential loop, when you have that experience, do you resolve it or do you bring it back in? Do you take a trauma and take it around this loop over and over and over again, and that trauma becomes part of your next experience? Are you just going to hold on to that? So what are you feeding yourself from a nutrition point of view? It's really important to know what you should feed yourself from your circle of care, from your doctors, and if you have a holistic practitioner, can help guide you in food and drink. Is someone guiding you in relationships? Do you have someone that's guiding you even in music? You can follow me on SoundCloud if you want. I've got some great tunes. That's what's great about that application, and Spotify. You can follow people and see what they're listening to. Rituals. Work is a ritual. Do you have a balance in the rituals that you have, and do you vary them? Do you vary your type of walking? Do you do running? Do you do fast walking? Do you do meditation? What about yoga? Yoga has, for mind, body, spirit, and soul, it has a component for each of those. And there's different types of yoga. I think I'm still discovering them. There's Kundalini yoga that works on the 7 chakras. There's Vinyasa yoga, which is movements. And there's Yoga, which is jock yoga for power, power yoga for strength. So there's all different types of yoga and fitness that you can do. You can do HIIT classes and spinning. My goodness. Eating and drinking is a ritual. I make it a ritual. Or do you detox and not eat or drink? Maybe you do that at certain times of the year or certain times of the week to sort of level set or clear your head. Do you dance? Do you make time for entertainment? And do you make time for travel? Yeah. And I would also put on here, the other ritual, well, with all these rituals, do you do them with your family? Do you do them with your loved ones, the ones that are important to you? Do you make time for that? Because it's important to. You can't lose sight of that, because that's making a difference to your kids is one of the best things that you can do. Giving them your time. Experiences. So the experiences that are going to happen once you do these rituals and you take action are going to bring you happiness, inspiration, memories, hurt, fear, love, beliefs, anger, peace, hope, divorce, breakup, and failure. They're going to give you maybe an addiction to something. They're going to give you an illness. And then how does this tie back to fulfillment and rhythmic potential? Is that an experience? We saw examples of Joe Carter and Bianca, reaching their rhythmic potential. How can we have the rhythmic potential every day to do our best? Well, we're not perfect, we're human. So as we go around this rhythmic potential loop, I challenge you to think about what's the nutrition that you're feeding yourself. And what are the rituals that you're doing that are resulting in experiences? And I've met people that they feel they're a victim and they take this victim mentality all the way around. What if you take a love mentality all the way around? Right? What if you bring love around this with you all the time? You do anyway. But I mean, what are the main things you're bringing that you're allowing to impact? Because the way then that you experience in this life is going to be impacted by what you bring. You might say your baggage, but I mean, there's good baggage too, right? So it's that stuff that you're feeding yourself over and over again on a daily basis. So I see some questions coming up, and I just want to do my last slide, which is kickoff. I'll go to the questions. We're on track to have 5 minutes for questions, all right? So a kickoff for you to find your rhythmic potential would be to do less is more and be patient. So you don't want to change all of your eating. You maybe find some guides to give you some insight. I'm a person who likes to do a lot of research and pick the right sort of expert to help me in certain areas. And then once they've got me on my way, I like to sort of take it on my own and try it out and then sort of check in and see what's up. So less is more. An example is, if you're going to eat more healthy, you don't want to change your entire diet and turn yourself upside down, but you want to make little small changes. Make a commitment to 1 or 3 things changing. Maybe you're going to have an apple a day, which is a fabulous fruit no matter what you have. Apples are good all the time. But did you know that the PCU code that's on an apple, they usually start with a 3, 6, a 4, or a 9. 9s are organic, but 4s and 6s are not. They have pesticides in them and toxins that build up in your body. So less is more. Be mindful. You want to create focus in what you're doing, whether at work or in life. So what I did was, in my life, I just scaled everything back. I just stopped everything, including Terry Fox. I had done it for 28 years. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to take a break and it's just going to be about me. I'm only going to do stuff for me. Because I'm doing stuff for everybody else except myself. I'm just going to stop. I did that last August. I said, I'm going to put myself first for 2 weeks. It was pretty amazing what happened. And you get hooked on sort of pleasing yourself in a way, focusing on yourself, because you get to learn who you are, not what people want you to do, right? So create variety in your nutrition and rituals. If you follow me on Instagram, you see I'm using this, I'm allergic to nightshades like tomatoes. My energy doesn't like those. My immune system doesn't handle the energy of tomatoes very well. So I don't have tomatoes. So I found this la-di-da sauce, which is pasta sauce. So I put it on pasta, then I use it for sauce on gluten-free pizzas, on cauliflower bases and stuff. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see some of that stuff happening. But it's about finding different nutrition and rituals, checking the time. Be open to learning. So as you go through those experiences, be open to learning, learn, make a note, and then move on and start that circle again. Start with that next nutrition. Realize it's part of your next thing you're going to be taking or doing, your next ritual. Also, I like to use rituals to center and reset my energy. So an example would be working out. I get to a point where all I can think about is doing push-ups, and then it just resets my energy to 0. So then when I step off, my energy is at a lower centered place. So when things come up at work, which I always do, it allows me to react in a more mindful way and balanced way. And that's what you can get to sort of balance your energy out so that you can react in this life to others and situations in a more even keel. And just remember, life happens for us, not to us. So I'm gonna leave that slide up, and I'm gonna go to the questions. I think I have 3 minutes. Okay, hold on. Let me see where I am. Okay, question came in. What other activities can we do at home for maintaining balance? Okay, so you can tune into dance parties online. You can dance yourself. You can do yoga. What I do is there's a lot of free yoga right now online. So I do yoga and workouts. Right now I'm working on my abs. So I have certain trainers I follow that are more into building abs right now. I do detoxing at home. I do walking in the neighborhood. I do cutting the lawn. I want to get out and do golf soon. Reading is not about movement. Reading's more mind-based, but it's still important. So any type of movement that you can think of, that's why walking's just even great, because you want to get your lymphatic system moving, clean out some of those toxins. You have to keep moving, just not sitting around. So those are the things I'm doing. Cleaning, obviously. I mean, all those things are movement. They count. In fact, excuse me, the lawnmower I have a push lawnmower. so that makes it even go further. Yeah, Adriana, it's true. Yeah, so you want to find those hobbies that you like I like food or travel, and use those and make those your rituals and make time for those. So a lot of people do meditation from 6 to 8:30 in the morning. Some people do 2.5 hours in the morning. Some people do it at night. Some people do it at both times. I'm running sessions and shows that are both during the day on Thursdays. Don't have anything at night though at this point. You know, there's other Zoom meetings that you can have, and online meetings on Meetup. You can find them. That's where I post on Meetup, and also on Eventbrite. You can find events. There's just wine. There's wine drinking on Fridays. There's a wine drinking group that I'm part of, and we just get together to have wine and chat. So you can have these block parties online or friends parties online. It gives you time to reconnect to people, and it reduces the travel time. So you actually have more time, but it can be lonely. So you want to do those. How can you see the mind focus to rebalance negativity? Okay. Yeah. So the way that I do it, and I found it works, is that you want to reset yourself using your mind and traveling to a place. I go to Hawaii when I meditate and just listen to put some music on, maybe a candle. I just meditate and I think about going to Hawaii and exploring the Big Island of Kona. And that's what's peaceful for me and allows me just to think about nothing. And it depends if you have vertical, horizontal energy, if you're always thinking about things. That's why exercise is great, because it takes your mind off of things. Balance and resets yourself down to zero, so then you can step off and have some peace. So you really have to find that peace. You have to do less and just find a calm state. I think I'm out of time. Thanks very much for your time, and I just want to wish you everyone sort of peace and love and all the best with the rest of the conference and in your life. And if you'd like to reach out, you have my campsite link. If you'd like some more information or just to talk, I'd be pleased to talk with you. So thanks very much for being here, and enjoy the rest of your day.